Bakit hindi nagamit ni Secretary para i-charm si Speaker Martin Romualdez? Para sana itong hindi naman 100 million. Ang layo naman ito. It's less than 10% of your original appropriation para sa promotion. Promotion pa naman ito eh. Paano nyo namang ipopromote naman ang industry? Wala bang explanation from 1.2 billion, ganoon 200, pagkatapos 100 million? What was the explanation, madam?
Ito na nga, Martin Romualdez, bulabog ang malaking perang tinapyas sa D.O.T para gamitin niya sa kanyang pamumulitika. Marcoleta, nagsisimula na. Pero bago ang lahat, maaari kayong mag-subscribe para maging updated sa mga issue at bagong mga balita. Bulabog nga ang pagiging kurakot at kawatan nitong si Tamba nang mabulabog siya ni Marcoleta. Ang budget ng D.O.T na dati ay 1 billion, naging 2 million at ngayon 1 million na lang. Nila ang pondo, ginamit Tinamba sa pamumulitika at paninira kay VP Sara. Narito ang buong detalye.
Thank you, Senator. We do have the statistics to compare the promotions budgets of our ASEAN neighbors, and I cede the floor to Yusek Verna Buensuceso to present the comparative numbers. Mali.
Hindi, pakisabi nyo lang kung masyado tayong malayo.
Malayong malayo po, Senator.
Salamat po. Kasi from 1 billion in 2018, 2019, pagkatapos pinakamataas nyo 2023, 1.2 billion, pagkatapos biglang bumagsak sa 200 million, then 100 million in 2025. Fortunately, sa NEP, nakikita namin parang itataas nila sa 450 something million. Paano kayo makakalaban nito, madam? Kasi parang sa digmaan lang ito eh. If you are not complete with ammunition, how do you think you are able to survive the battle we call tourism?
We have nothing but a plastic bullet, Senator.
That's not good enough, Madam Secretary.
Which is why it is also of grave concern to us that
Nagtataka lang
budget
kasi ako,
has been reduced.
kasi 2025, wala pa ba si former Congresswoman Migs sa iyo noong 2025? Wala pa, ano? Siya na ba noong 2025? Ngayon?
Congresswoman Migs po, can I clarify po, sino po si Congresswoman Migs?
Hindi. Kapag-alan niyo ba ito?
Kapatid.
Kapatid.
Indo.
Ikaw ba yun? Sorry kasi parang kamukha mo siya.
Indo.
Kasi kasama ka, colleague ko siya. Medyo malabo ang mata ko, malayo pa siya. So kala ko kasi nandit siya, kasama niyo siya ngayon. I meant to ask you sana, you could have utilized her kung siya si Migs, no? To charm the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Kilala mo siya, ma'am, di ba?
Hi, Sen, Mr. Chair, yes. No, ako si Marga Nograles. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of the Tourism.
Kayo po yung butihing wife ng aking kaibigan, Caro Nograles. Kayo din po yung nagbigay sa akin ng magandang polo na dalawa.
Yes, Sen.
Kasi isa na po, napagkamalan ko kayo po si Congresswoman Migs. Pero kahit na ganoon, kasi si Kong Carlo tsaka si Congresswoman Migs, magkakamag-anak naman kayo. Bakit hindi nagamit ni Secretary para i-charm si Speaker Martin Romualdez? Para sana itong hindi naman 100 million. Ang layo naman ito. It's less than 10% of your original appropriation para sa promotion. Eh, promotion pa naman ito eh. Paano nyo namang ipopromote naman ang industry? Wala bang explanation from 1.2 billion, ganoon 200, pagkatapos 100 million? What was the explanation, madam? Kasi pwedeng i-reverse ni chairman ito eh. Pwede niyang ibalik sa 1.2 billion eh. Mr. Chair, ano? As long as you're able to justify.
Mr. Chair and Senator Marcoleta, first of all, I think what has become abundantly clear to us in the department is that the power of the purse lies entirely with Congress, and therefore the exercise of their discretion is beyond our control. Notwithstanding that, when I learned of the slashing of the budget, I did make my appeals and sought to have interventions and representations with the leadership in order to plead that the budget not be slashed in the manner that it was. But at the end of the day, we can only ask, and it is for them to deny. And clearly, exercising this power of the purse, the budget has fallen victim to that. I wish to clarify that it is also not
Sorry
a matter.
to interfere. Doon po sa punto, no, I would just like to ask, the budget, yung pong pinapoint out ni Senator Marcoleta, 2025 secretaries, 100 million.
That's
But
correct.
the NEP of this was about 500 million. So it was
That is
slashed
correct.
after the sa GAA, it became 100 from a NEP of 500 million.
That is correct, Mr.
Okay,
Chair.
please continue.
Pero, Mr. Chair, alam mo, na-politika lamang ito, alam ko naman eh, dahil sa... But the chief casualty is the Filipino people. If you are unable to promote the tourism sector, mawawalan po ang Pilipino. Dapat hindi pinipolitika ito eh. Anong problema eh? Kasi ako, na-feel ko mismo ang politika doon eh. Kahit wala kang kasalanan, pinagtatanggol mo lang ang tama. Katulad nyo, politika ang nangyari. How else will you be able to explain this? 100 million from 1.2 billion. Alam naman nila kung anong epekto nito eh. You will not be able to pursue anything good here. Promotion po ito eh. Nakikipaglaban po tayo. Ang gaganda po nung tourism packages ng ate. Huwag na tayong lumayo sa malalayo pa, like Dubai, dito lang sa Malaysia, sa Thailand, sa Vietnam. Kung wala po tayong sapat na perang gagamitin para lumaban tayo, you're merely spinning wheels. So, Mr. Chair, kasi siguro nasa balikat mo ngayon na ibalik natin ito. Siguro. Kung gusto po rin nyo. Salamat po, Mr. Chair. Inahan ko naman noon. Ako na lang ang panginoon ako.
Thank you, Senator Marcoleta. I guess you hit the nail right on the head. Mukhang yun ang nga rin ng ta-point out talaga natin sa umagang ito. So again, for the record, Madam Secretary, yung budget of 2025 from 500 million, the NEP, it was slashed to 100 million. I wanted to find out yung 2024, if it's the same. 500 also. And then it became, it was slashed to 200 million. So now, yung NEP natin is about 500 million. We're still awaiting for the HGAB, no? After the budget deliberations. But at least now you will have, be rest assured that you will have allies here right now, no? Senator Marcoleta put it, the way we put it, na it's sad that politics has again, I'm hoping it's not, but it seems like it, no? That it's not it's not the legislators who are victims here. It's the Filipino people who will lose the opportunity. And I don't think we can really compete with 100 million compared to our ASEAN neighbors budget. Yung pong na-point out nyo, no? Talagang, as you mentioned, malayo-malayo. I was able to see it earlier, no? Can you flash it on the screen? Yan po. That's how much, if you could compare to our neighbors, yun po siguro, Malaysia na lang, Vietnam, ano pa ba iba? Thailand, and how far are we? Para so that the committee will just be on record, we will have an idea as to what kind of budget the Department of Tourism is working on right now.
Mr. Chair, Yusek Verna will answer the question.
Please proceed.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Actually, on the screen, we have a comparative analysis of the various ASEAN budgets in relation to tourism development. So for 2024, for example, we have Indonesia having an amount of about 234 million compared to the 52 million of the Department of Tourism in terms of dollars. For Thailand, it's 168 million dollars. For Malaysia, it's 262 million dollars. For Vietnam, it's 148 million dollars, and Singapore is 431 million dollars, the biggest budget among the ASEAN countries. So it's really very, very far and very big compared to the budget that has been allocated to the Department of Tourism.
Yung po, Cambodia. I think Cambodia is also getting a lot of arrivals. Are they spending so much also?
In terms of Cambodia, Mr. Chair, we have the figure for 2023, but this one is about $20 million. But 2023, that's the only figure that we have been
About
able
a billion pesos.
About 1 million something
1 billion
pesos.
pesos.
Yes.
Yung Vietnam? Yung Vietnam?
Vietnam is about, for 2024, just a minute, their budget is about $148 million.
So in peso, that's how much compared to us? To
That's
ours?
about 8.4 billion.
8.4 billion. So they're spending 8.4 billion to compare to our 100 million. Ganun ba yung difference?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
2024. Still a big difference, huh? Anyway, probably budget season is coming up soon. Probably if you can have another presentation, having a matrix comparison, maganda ito makita nila. It will be nice that if we can present this so that we'll have the other senators will have a better appreciation of the comparison to the promotions budget that we have in terms of pesos also, para lang makita natin in terms of dollars and pesos. So that, we'll have an idea on the kind of budget that you're working on, and in spite of that, at least we're still able to perform, by trying to be innovative, I guess, by making do with what you have, the meager resources, also, what are the challenges aside from the promotions budget? Steadily, it was 500 million in the NEP for the past 3 years, but it has been cut for the past 2 years. But be rest assured that we will make sure that it will not happen again. We'll do our best, and because it's not the legislators, it's not the secretary who will suffer because of this cut. Sana nga hindi tama yung analysis po ni Senator Marcoleta. It's you're a victim of politics. I hope not, but if it is indeed it is, it's not you who will suffer. It's not the department. It's the whole industry. As I mentioned earlier, this is the low-hanging fruit that we have already. We cannot compete in terms of other industries anymore, manufacturing and others. So, ito tourism na lang nga yung ano natin eh. Tapos maano pa, magiging biktima pa ng politika, nakakaawa naman, no? Lahat talaga tayo napupolitika. In the same way that we will ask later on, no? There still a lot of challenges. Of course, one is your budget for promotions. And next will be tourism infrastructure, as you mentioned. Probably that's next. I am a witness, no, and I agree with you, Secretary, that it is indeed a challenge. Right? It's very important, really, to give infrastructure, to make sure that the infrastructure is there and make it more convenient for tourists. So, to move around the country, no? I have seen a lot of our hidden treasures, yung mga potential tourism areas, and I'm a witness na talagang medyo kulang pa tayo sa infra. That's why before, when I was just a member of this committee, I remember I asked RTS head GM Mark Lapid kung ano po yung mga, probably later on you can brief us, kasi nangyayari nun, everybody, just like the flood control budget, kasi 350 billion po yung budget na yon, everybody wants a piece of that pie. Even though yung pong tourism, or even though yung flood-prone provinces are already, yung po kahapon, already identified, but yung project, hindi, there's a mismatch. So, everybody wants a piece of that pie. Mukhang na politika rin to kasi I think also everybody wants a piece of the pie of the TIESA. Dapat, I think if we can brief us later on, I think the Secretary was able to mention yung po mga tourism centers, no, that are ongoing. So, yun po. So, tourism infrastructure, roads, and others, no, we have to coordinate with the DPWH on this. Let us know kung ano po yung inyo pong mga priority infra so that we can help being Vice Chair of the Committee on Finance in the upcoming budget. Doon po sa infra, Sec, do you have any list of the infrastructures that you would want to help prioritize with the Department of Public Works?
Senator, first of all, I wish to thank you for understanding the predicament that we have been facing in the Department of Tourism. Our hands have been tied for quite some time, but we have sought to fight as hard as we can for the success of Philippine tourism. I agree that politics should have no place in tourism, for tourism should transcend all of that, and it is, after all, our common ground. In terms of the challenges that the country faces as far as tourism infrastructure, we have found the need to invest in tourism roads. And that is why, since 2022, our advocacy with the Department of Public Works and Highways has been to spend more on not just continuing tourism roads, but new tourism roads. While it has had some success, in a sense that there was funding allocated for new tourism roads a couple of years back, unfortunately for 2026, there is zero funding for new tourism roads. In fact, the only funding that remains for tourism roads is on continuing roads. That is not to say that we have not submitted our list of priorities. We have. And in fact, judging by our experience, where our submissions are still subject to the discretion and list of prioritization of DPWH, we have also advocated for the funding to be placed under the Department of Tourism. So in the same way that funding for health facilities are with the DOH, funding for classrooms are with the DepEd, funding for farm-to-market roads are with the DA, but all downloaded and executed by the DPWH, the idea that we presented was that funding for tourism roads be lodged under DOT, considering that it is our regional offices that possess the data as far as the projections on demand and current demand that would ensure an enhanced tourism experience. That being said, we submitted our priority list to the DPWH. We also submitted the same to the DBM. But there is, as of yet, zero funding that is allocated for new tourism roads. So we're hopeful that since you are an advocate for the improvement of tourism roads, that this can somehow be addressed. We feel that investments in bridges is also important. And equally important is investment in airport infrastructure as well as seaport infrastructure. And we have already submitted our list of priority airports and seaports to the DOTR.
Yes, we'll take note of those, and probably if we can furnish the committee a list of those roads that you would want to prioritize, so we can have it for the record, and probably likewise help you in during the budget deliberations. Ito po yan, no? Yung I have some the Philippines pays in comparison really in infrastructure, in terms of infra for tourism. We're number 69. We're the lowest in Southeast Asia. Of course, behind Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, and even Vietnam. I think we're number 69. Vietnam is 59. No. So, if you can give us the copies of your proposed road infrastructure, and I agree pong yung airport has a lot of improvement that that needs to be done. Of course, it's the first and last impression of every tourist that comes here. Not only tourists, but also potential investors, no? But of course, we have to give time, but they have to rush, that the new NAIA management, the new private entity is now trying to make improvements. So, I may just ask if there any specific ongoing coordination between the DOTR, the MIA, and also the DOT to make the passenger experience better right away. What are is there any is there any coordination between DOTR and DOT and the MIA, the new MIA management?
First of all, Mr. Chair, we signed a memorandum of agreement with the DOTR for purposes of tourism infrastructure convergence as it pertains to air, land, and sea transport. And the result of that has been the prioritization by the DOTR of the list of improved, or rather the list of airports and seaports for which we seek improvement. I think the most recent demonstration of this is the expansion of the Siargao Airport, which Secretary Vince Dizon and I inspected last week. And forthcoming, of course, is our support for the privatization of our regional gateways that include Bohol, Laguindingan, forthcoming for Bicol, hopefully Iloilo, and we're hopeful as well for Puerto Princesa. That being said, we have had ongoing coordination with NNIC, the private proponent that is now operating the airport. And our interventions include, first, the training of frontline personnel in the Filipino brand of service excellence. Second, and as a result of our walkthrough with the OTR and NNIC, the DOT will provide interventions as far as the improvement of the food offerings in the airport, as NNIC is putting up a new food court in the area. Third, in terms of branding and promotions, we are also partnering to be able to provide collateral materials for marketing purposes in the airport. Fourth, we've already articulated our desire for a shorter processing time in terms of arrival as well as eventual departure from the airport itself. So I understand that time in motion studies have already been conducted, and we have had some positive feedback in terms of the shortening of the time from arrival to obtaining the baggage and eventual exit. Fifth has been our proposition to improve the restrooms inside the airports, as this is well aligned to our advocacy under our tourist rest areas program. Sixth and finally, we're also working with them and together with the DOTR through our routes development team to ensure that connectivity to the airport continues to expand. And we have seen such expansion with the recent launch of the Paris to Manila flight, a first in several decades, the launch of the Vancouver to Canada flight through Air Canada, as well as the forthcoming launch of the direct flights from Delhi to Manila.
I'm hoping to see that those improvements, especially with the airport na iya, no? The other a lot of airports have had considerable improvement. For Cebu, compared to NAIA right now, Cebu's terminal is really much better. Hopefully, NAIA will improve very soon, no? And I think we can also try to use yung Clark, more of yung Clark is a very nice airport, one of the most beautiful, I think. Those are other alternatives to NAIA, no, that we can also tap. Likewise, next year, Madam Secretary, no, we will be hosting the JCI World Congress. I'm the past national president. We are expecting about at least 5,000 foreign delegates coming to Clark. So that will be a big help for tourism. So in our own little way, at least I'm hoping that we can help in terms of tourism arrivals, and likewise, of course, improving the image of our country in perception. These are 5,000 young leaders all over the world. So that will be in Clark in 2026. So we'll get in touch probably with you with the terms of support, no, for promotion and among others. So that's 2026 in Clark. In terms of infra, no, just for the record, under DPWH is a 3.5 billion, no, but this is continuing, as you mentioned. But I would like to get the list of the other roads that you would want to prioritize so that we can try to request the DPWH to prioritize this in the coming budget season. Okay, next, probably,